These roles aren't for the faint of heart. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 hardest male musical roles. For this list, we'll be looking at the leading male roles in musical theater that are difficult to perform, whether due to vocals, dancing, acting, or other factors. We will not be looking at swings or ensemble parts for this list. Let's face it, those are always incredibly difficult. Number 20, Jason J.D. Dean, Heathers the Musical. Talk about tricky. This explosive male protagonist has to hit some high tenor notes while ranting about cleansing his high school with a bomb, and still maintain a teenage heartthrob vibe throughout.
Freeze your brain, shatter your skull, fight pain with more pain, forget who you are, unburden your load.
It's challenging enough to sing songs like Meant to Be Yours and Freeze Your Brain, but the role of JD requires an actor who can also show a dramatic range, beginning as a broken loner with issues, and ending up as a murderer who's fallen madly in love.
How'd you find my address?
Right the bed, rock this dead girl on it.
Tore my mattress!
Tonight for you, better chug that Mountain Dew.
Okay.
Add to that a mix of beautiful duets and chilling solos, and JD is sure to be a challenge for any actor taking on the role.
Can we be 17? Is that so hard to do? If you could let me.
Number 19, the Genie, Aladdin. This iconic role is difficult in part due to sheer expectations.
Well, I feel sheepish.
The performance by Robin Williams in the animated movie is one that's cherished by fans everywhere. And so, anyone who takes on the part of the Genie must feel tremendous pressure to live up to the hype. Beyond that though, the Genie in the musical must be able to perform several demanding numbers that last between 5 to 8 minutes on stage, such as Friend Like Me and Prince Ali.
Prince Ali, fabulous he, Ali Ababa. Chin deflect, show some respect, down on one knee.
Controlling one's breath and vocal ability while running and tap dancing across the stage is hard. And anyone who takes on this role better hope they have a few tricks up their sleeve.
I'm in the mood to help you do. You ain't never had a friend like me. No, I can tell it. Oh my, oh no.
Number 18, Orpheus, Hadestown. If you had heard how he sang tonight, you'd pity poor Orpheus. Not many can work that beautiful high range, but to do it in a way that conveys Orpheus's feelings of hope, loss, renewal, beauty, and love, that takes a real poet's art.
Love her when I sing my song. All the rivers will sing along. And they're gonna break their banks for us. And with their gold be generous.
The true challenge of Orpheus is to capture the character's sincerity without letting it become childish or silly. It is also a relatively new role, as the musical only dates back to 2007, which means anyone who takes it on after the most recently wonderful Reeve Carney has their work cut out for them to match his crystal clear heavenly voice.
And I'm not alone. I hear the rocks and stones echo in my song. I'm coming.
Number 17, Quasimodo, the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Out there, somewhere she is lost.
This role was expanded for the stage musical, turning Quasimodo into a vocal powerhouse, while also requiring an actor to contort their body shape, change their voice, and adopt certain tics and quirks to the character while being respectful. It's a fine line to walk, and if that weren't challenging enough, Quasimodo gets a new song in the second act.
And my one human eye will evermore be dry until the day I die. As if
Made of Stone is an emotional and powerful number, and hitting those notes at the end of the song is not easy. The acting and singing ability this role requires are staggering, and there are not many performers out there who can make it work. Number 16, Lola, Kinky Boots.
Leave expectations at the door. Just let your eyes explore my cinematic flair from my boots to derriere.
This confident drag queen has to really pull it off. With some very difficult songs that all demonstrate different facets of Lola's character, this role would be hard enough, but Lola has to do it all while working high heels and dancing around the stage. The character's presence is a huge factor, and the energy needed to perform some of the numbers means the actor will likely be exhausted by the end of each performance.
To echo what he'd done and mirror what was not in me.
Emotional numbers, sexy showstoppers, combined with constant costume changes and rocking some kinky boots, means Lola is more than most men can handle. Number 15, Donnie Nowitzki, Bandstand.
Don Nowitzki is ready to
A World War II veteran suffering from PTSD and trying to break into showbiz with a new band. Sounds like a breeze. In all seriousness, this is a tough role because it requires great talent with the piano. Corey Cott has recounted that when he got the part, he had to learn how to play and learn fast.
Take to the floor now, don't be discreet. So to cut loose, go and grab some tweet. Cause you deserve it. Go out and have a ball. Cause you deserve it. Don't let the rhythm talk.
Having to sing, act, and play an instrument on stage every night is an incredible task. Moreover, to play a veteran who's coming to grips with the physical and psychological scars of battle requires a careful touch. Number 14, Angel Dumott Chouinard, Rent. Working as the emotional crux of an equally emotional show is no easy task, and once again, this is another role that requires the actor to do it while rocking the shoes and outfit. Angel hits some beautiful high notes and harmonies in songs like I'll Cover You, but it's in Angel's introduction to the group in Today For You that the character really has to work. The choreography in those shoes, while doing some drumming and jumping, adds to the number and really impresses the audience.
Tomorrow for me, today for you, tomorrow for me. You go, girl.
For a character whose presence is heavily felt in the first act, Angel has a lot to cover. Number 13, Inspector Javert, Les Miserables.
You know nothing, you Javert! I was born inside a jail!
If I have to kill you here, I'll do
I am from the gutter too!
Jean Valjean's arch-nemesis is a powerful presence on stage, and the actor who plays this role must be able to command attention. His big solo number, Stars, is deceptively difficult, as a certain performance in the movie version can demonstrate.
on the doorway to paradise, that those who falter and those who fall must pay the price.
It requires sincerity, depth, and power to pull off well. But it's Javert's soliloquy, as his life around him unravels, that really showcases what makes this role hard to play. The sheer conviction of the inspector spirals into conviction of a different kind, and when handled well, the effect is powerful and chilling.
This desperate man whom I have hunted, he gave me my life, he gave me freedom.
Number 12, The Phantom of the Opera.
The Phantom of the Opera is there inside my mind.
The vocals required from the titular Phantom are incredibly difficult, but so rewarding if done right. This mysterious character must give off sinister, creepy, but also strangely tender vibes throughout the show, and must hit some impossibly high notes. In the music of the night particularly, the Phantom sings gently but with incredible range and power.
Close your eyes, let your spirit start to soar.
The Phantom is an enigma, and it is a challenge to portray that while hitting those Andrew Lloyd Webber notes without coming off too much as a villain or a creep.
You will curse the day you did not do. Oh, that the Phantom passed
Number 11, Judas Iscariot, Jesus Christ Superstar.
But every word you say today gets twisted round some other way. And they'll hurt you if they think you blind.
In fairness, both the leading men in this show have incredibly hard roles. And while Jesus has the infamous Gethsemane notes,
Why should I die? Oh, why should I die?
different performers have found ways to modify the song in some ways to make it doable. The songs Judas has to perform, in contrast, are incredibly difficult to do and hard to modify.
He is just the same as anyone I know. He scares me so.
Hitting those high notes all throughout a long show is tough, and to do it while portraying Judas's raw emotion is taxing. The role of Judas requires a real, well, superstar.
Tell me what you think about your friends at the top. Now who'd you think besides yourself was the pick of the crop?
Number 10, Peter Allen, the boy from Oz.
Though I may look the same way to you, underneath there is somebody new.
This jukebox musical is a beautiful flashback through the life and times of the fantastically talented singer-songwriter Peter Allen.
'Cause I am not the boy next door. Here we go!
And the demanding high-energy nature of this musical requires a lot of the main character, who spends much of his time on stage either struggling with his sexuality or singing and dancing his heart out. Playing this larger-than-life personality can either be crazy fun or crazy hard. Or if you're feeling bi-coastal, perhaps it will be a perfect combination of both.
All those girls on TV movies, all those boys on Broadway. When you make up your mind, you know you go either way.
After all, like Peter asked, why do you have to pick?
Why do you have to pick?
Number 9, Pierre Bezukhov, Natasha, Pierre, and the Great Comet of 1812. This musical adaptation of Volume 2, Part 5 of Tolstoy's War and Peace is one in which everything is sung.
There's a war going on out there somewhere, and Andre isn't here.
This alone can be a strain on the voice. And while the merging of old world music with the contemporary is also fascinating, it can be tough for all of the cast. And though playing Anatole, the conniving seducer of Natasha, requires a range that few others have, the titular role of Pierre is even more demanding.
The zest of life has vanished, only the skeleton remains unexpectedly vile. I used to be better, I used to be better, I used to be better.
With a good half of the drama revolving around him, the actor must be able to hold his own on stage. And of course, like so many on this list, possess incredible vocal capability.
We are children of dust and ashes.
Number 8. Sweeney Todd. Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. This gothic musical, and therefore this part, was made immensely popular in the mid-2000s by Tim Burton and Johnny Depp.
These are my friends. See how they glisten.
But this sinister role has long been making people not only uncertain of their barbers, but also questioning what's in their food. With deep throaty notes and a merciless need for blood, Todd carries much of the weight of this eerie musical down the precarious paths of 1800s London. With Broadway greats like George Hearn setting the standard, this role is one tough neck to slit. If you've got a beautiful baritone voice and a lust for vengeance, though, then perhaps this is just the part for you.
Dancing pretty women are a wonder. Pretty women sitting in the windows.
Number 7. Jerry Mulligan, An American in Paris. The charisma and talent of Gene Kelly in any role is a tough act to follow.
Who could ask for anything more?
The man just had it. So when this movie musical came to Broadway, the role of Jerry Mulligan was instantly equally coveted and feared. Making a role originated by the late great Kelly your own is tough enough. But when you mix in the obvious fact that this role requires an excellent singer, actor, and even better dancer, you've got yourself one hell of a part. Who'd have expected that from a romantic comedy?
Liza, Liza, skies are gray, but if you smile on me, all the clouds will roll away.
Number 6. Hedwig. Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Before transgender and genderqueer rights took center stage in America, Hedwig was blazing a multicolored trail.
And there was 3 sexes then, one that looked like 2 men glued up back to back. They called the children of the sun.
So although this titular role is female in gender, her voice part is for a tenor, and therefore she's primarily played by men. And the complexities of this beautiful human are ones to handle with care, as Hedwig tries to figure out her place in the world. However, that does not mean you shouldn't let your voice rip when taking on this part. This woman may be beaten down by her situation, but she is not broken.
I gave a piece to the rock star. He took the good stuff and ran.
Number 5. Marquis de Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson, Hamilton.
What did I miss? Virginia, my home sweet home. I want to give you a kiss.
As we all know, Lin-Manuel Miranda revolutionized Broadway with In the Heights, and his story of the birth of a country only pushed the envelope even further, with amazing results.
Immigrants, we get the job done.
The dual role of Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson may only be a supporting role, but they are integral ones, pushing the story along with guns, ships, gossip, and of course, the Declaration of Independence.
I'm taking this horse by the reins, making red coats red with blood stains. And I'm never gonna stop until I make a drop of one of my potato that remains out. Watch me engaging them, escaping them, enraging them. I go to France for more fun. I come back with more guns.
And what this part lacks in belted notes or incredible range, it makes up for with raps that could twist nearly any tongue. Best to loosen all of your mouth muscles before trying this one.
Ow, but Hamilton forgets. His plan would have the government assume states' debts. Now place your bets as to who that benefits. The very seat of government where Hamilton sits.
Not true!
Number 4. Dr. Henry Jekyll and Edward Hyde, Jekyll and Hyde.
This is the
know this story. Dr. Jekyll gets curious about good and evil in men and makes a formula, using himself as the subject of the experiment. This potion causes a duality, creating a new persona within him, Mr. Hyde.
There's this feeling of power and drive I've never felt so alive.
Yep, a tale as old as time. And this eponymous split character is one that requires accessing all aspects of the male voice and the human spirit. From the bright timbre of Dr. Jekyll, to the frightening snarl of Mr. Hyde and back again, the actor for this challenging role must possess a flawless capability to carry this haunting tale of a battle within the self.
After tonight I shall end this demon's dream. This is not a dream, my friend, and it will never end. This one is the nightmare that goes on.
Number 3. The Dysquith Family, A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder.
Just to look at your needy, desperate faces makes me want to spread my largesse. Oh, I say, what do you think you're doing? Yes, well, I'm here to introduce a number from this smart and hilarious new musical.
One actor, several parts. And for a second there, we thought playing Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was rough. But this role could make even the best swing actors blush. Though each family member, and therefore each character that must be played, is killed off throughout the performance of this darkly comedic opera, it still requires quite a lot of acting expertise.
No, I don't understand the poor. The lives they lead of want and need. And I should think it would be a bore.
Both male and female characters are represented through one actor, and costume quick changes in the wings are ones for the ages. A word of advice should you ever have the pleasure of playing this crazy role: don't get too dizzy, and of course, knock 'em dead.
Discretion is the only way that love survives.
Number 2. Valjean, Les Miserables.
Before you chain me up like a slave again, listen to me. There is something I must do.
Of all the entries on this list, Les Miserables is probably the most widely known in and out of the entertainment world. Anyone who's worth their salt on Broadway and in Hollywood knows this classic tale. And the lead role in this intense story of war, love, life, and loss must have an equally intense vocal and acting power. The ability to command a stage is essential to this complex role.
Who am I to forsake
And with his solos going from the low tenor in Who Am I to the falsetto in Bring Him Home, bringing an extraordinary vocal range to that audition obviously wouldn't hurt. You get a Tony. You get a Tony. Everybody gets a Tony. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Miss Agatha Trunchbull, Matilda the Musical.
In this world, children, there are winners and there are losers. You are small, shriveled, foul-smelling, and weak. You are losers, children, and you always will be.
Jack Kelly, Newsies. William Shakespeare, Something Rotten.
'Cause it's hard, it's hard, it's really, really hard. It's sexy, but it's hard. This bar that I'm raising to be this amazing, it's hard, it's so annoyingly hard, so unavoidably, unenjoyably hard.
Rum Tum Tugger, Cats.
The Rum Tum Tugger is a curious cat,
and there isn't any use for you to doubt it.
For he will do as he did do.
And there's no doing anything about it.
Aaron Burr, Hamilton. continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Evan Hansen. Dear Evan Hansen. A newer entry into the annals of Broadway, Dear Evan Hansen has quickly become an easy favorite for theatergoers. But handling the balance of this main character can be tough. Evan Hansen is an anxiety-ridden but well-meaning high school kid who takes his part in a tragedy a little too far. But ultimately, he helps his entire school.
Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found.
Finding that line and walking it with this character, plus the clear intonation required of the singing voice, can be very tough for any less experienced actor. Ben Platt might have made this look effortless, but like many on this list, not everyone can pull it off quite so well. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.